your girl Akuu, bringing you Sikaatalks The Podcast. Hi everyone. How is everyone doing? I don't know, talk to you guys like you guys are right there, but I know you're right there and you're listening to me. So, by the way, how you doing? I hope you're doing great. You're doing well. You're sucking in this vitamin D that God is blessing us with. So, let's get into this podcast. First off, just some current event that I want to touch upon. Number one, I'm going to save the best for last. Number one. Okay, so I don't know if it's real life. I really hope it's not real life and it's just, under the little social media whatnot. But male birth control, y'all really excited for that? Y'all really excited for male birth control? That's just like a little weird to me. Seriously? Like, yeah, I really love being part of the plan. And I love that for y'all. I really do. Like, if you had some issues with the vaccine and you're excited for male birth control, you're part of the problem. And that's not even something to be, modern day genocide, and they're just here for it. That's so crazy to me. That's real crazy. Let's talk about that. Another thing, let's talk. So this happened recently. Just something I just want to throw out there. That's not a current event. That's like a current event in my life. Where recently, at my place of employment, so, when you're at work sometimes and things just, get crazy, whatever, and then, you compare your job to hell sometimes. So one of the employers, I would just describe them as employers. One of the employers was just like, oh my God, this is hell. This place is hell. I was like, this is not hell. This is far better than hell. And he was like, wow, if this is not hell and hell is worse than this, then I definitely don't want to go to hell. And I suggested that, you, as a human being, you shouldn't want to go to hell. Like, what? So I was like, you better repent. So after I said, you better repent, he went ahead and asked, oh, wait, so are you a believer? Do you believe? I said, yes, firm believer of Jesus Christ. So somebody who, doesn't mind their business, they're known for not minding their business, joins the conversation. And it's like, oh, wow, you're a Christian? And I looked at them, I was like, yes, I am. And they proceed to ask me the silliest question ever. Like, oh, so if you're a Christian, that would mean that you're a virgin. So I give them, the eye, the face, and everything. And if you know me, you know that my faces speak before I even say anything. If you say something to me and then I make a certain face, you would know what's coming next. So I gave him the face. And to me, it was really, I think it's fair to use the word disappointed just for the fact that this is really common. That's a really common notion that people relate someone's Christian status to their sexual status. Like, really, of all the other things you could have asked me, that's where your mind went to? The freaking gutter? Really? Like, this is one of the reasons why, I started this podcast, to come to have these discussions, to have these talks about, the common labels that are surrounded around Christianity, the common labels. It's like, these are grown men that I'm talking about. These are grown men. probably family man. Anyways, moving on. Another topic. Okay, this one is really like a wowzer for me. This young man, Christian Obumusili, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I hope I am. Christian. So, if you haven't heard the story, Christian is a young African man that lost his life. He was stabbed to death, and the main suspect in this situation is his girlfriend. His girlfriend is a Caucasian woman. So, this man lost his life, and what do people do best? Explore. This person, I repeat, this person lost their life, and someone thought it was okay, it was right to go back to the tweets from 2011 to prove whatever point it is that needs to be proven. I don't understand. And it's really, to me, it's really messed up that somebody loves their life and the main focus is, oh, he's a black man that was dating a Caucasian woman or had this notion about black women in general. So his tweet got dicked up from 2011, and he's about what, 27, meaning he probably was in high school when he was tweeting those tweets. And that has been used against him. The person is dead, and we're focusing on what he said 10 years ago. Like, seriously? And the main thing that riles me up, look at me using my different vocab words. The one thing that riles me up is really the backlash is coming from us, black folks. And I'm just gonna say this. I just feel like it's really weird that, okay, so as black people, we've come to a place where, like, we really, really, really dig into certain things and make race the first thing when there's an issue. And sometimes it shouldn't even be the case. Okay, the man was dating a white woman. Or beyond the end of the day, everybody has their preferences. And him being an African man, I don't say like I understand, but I've seen a trend with African men when they first come to America. Most of them have that I was gonna say fetish. That is not a fetish. They have that stage where they really just, that's what they're attracted to, because they come from wherever part of Africa they might be coming from, and that's something new. That's what they're attracted to. That's what they want. And some, I don't say grow out of it, because as I say, it's a stage, whatever, that's what some of them go for. And I'm looking at these tweets, and I'm just like, if I look back at myself in 2011, when I was in high school, as an African woman, it was just like there's a cultural difference between African Americans and Africans. Especially coming, like, when I came from Ghana and I went to high school, like, I had some, I'll say straight up, I had some issues with African Americans, because to me it was like, why am I being looked down upon from people that look like me just because I have an accent? Or the main people that make me feel uncomfortable or would say certain things were African Americans. For example, I had a history teacher. I don't know where she is. I was going to say her name, but I'm not going to say her name. But that woman, I swear, she used to pick on me and my other homegirl that were in the class. Like, making fun of, like, making little comments when we were reading in the room, like, correcting, like, if I'm saying somebody's name, first of all, I have like a couple different accents, and I'm saying it wrong, instead of her just like correcting me, she will laugh and repeat what I said wrong. Like little childish stuff like that. And one of his tweets were like, why do black women disgrace themselves on TV? Isn't that something that we talk about when we look at certain things like what's that show that Cardi B was on? That show. Like things like that. Those are the stuff that we look at and it's just like, this put black women in such a bad light. Those are certain things. And it's just like, that's been used against him. But then we want to talk about, oh, Black Lives Matter. So even within the Black Lives Matter, you have to fit in a certain category. So it's just like, we have to make this make sense. Like, it's either Black Lives Matter or they don't matter. To my point, I had this conversation with some of my peoples, and I was just like, I personally feel like he's getting that much, I don't say hate, but that's really what it is, unfortunately, just because he's African. And that makes it even more, makes his case even worse because of his African status. If he was a black American, I stand on that. If you disagree and you think it's something else, let me know. But I really stand on the fact that because he's African, that's making his case even worse. So if you're an African woman or you're an African person out there and you're really going against the grain, talking about, oh, well, we don't have anything to do about it. Oh, it's above us. That's what he gets. Really? I really wouldn't say that him dating a Caucasian woman is what killed him. It's him dating the wrong person that got him killed. So, like, let's really be careful on certain things that we're doing, certain things we're getting ourselves involved, certain, like, come on now. Like, that's sad. That's really sad. I feel like this situation is really petty. And it's like, we're not focused on the life that's been lost. We were focused on what? Something that happened 10, 11 years ago? Like, seriously? Yeah, like, 10, 11 years ago. And the funny thing is, one woman was on Twitter and she tweeted something about, oh, her preference is black men that love black women. And then you know what somebody did? Somebody went and pulled up her tweets. And I don't know if you guys watch Peaky Blinders. I love that show. And they pulled out her tweets of her fantasizing over one of the lead actors of Peaky Blinder, who is a Caucasian man. So it's like, oh, this is you? And somebody was like, oh, but why is it relevant for you to pull back her tweet? Why is it relevant for people to pull his tweets from 10, 11 years ago to make a point of, we don't need to support him because it's how he feels about, oh my God. We gotta do better as a community. We gotta do better as a society, because then we want to step out and want to demand and want people to look at us as a broad community and give us a certain respect when we don't even do it within ourselves. That's not fair, y'all. That's not fair. That's sad. That's really sad. To this topic, let's talk about substance and the lack thereof. Substance. When I talk about substance, I'm talking about something of value, something that's fulfilling, something that's filling, something that's important. And unfortunately, I just feel like as a generation, as a group of people, it seems that we're lacking substance. One thing I want this podcast to do is to be of substance. I want people to be able to watch these podcasts. I want to be able to have these conversations with people so we can grow, we can heal, we could, get to learn about certain things. Like, as I said in my introduction episode, it's either you're being influenced or you're the person doing the influencing. And in that sense, if I'm being the influencer, I would like to influence people in the right way and not lead them astray. One of the biggest thing for me is like people of like the younger generation. I just feel like there's really, maybe it's because of what I see, probably what's surrounding me, but I don't see much people of substance for the younger generation. I see the younger generation being looking at social media and following these certain lifestyle because that's what's promoted, that's what's seen. Um, and that's one of the downfalls of social media. It's making us being okay with the lack of substance just because we could see it, we could get it. I want, like, these type of podcasts, like, I'm gonna have some episodes that I want young girls to watch with their moms. Like, I want this to be, like, I want everybody to be able to watch this and be able to apply some things to their lives. I want people to be able to watch this and feel like, okay, I'm learning something. Oh my God, I feel like this person could benefit from this topic. This is the type of podcast I'm building. That's the type of podcast I want Sikaatalks to be. So anyways. So substance. So with social media being at the tip of our hands, as a people, there's a lot of things that we see and we're just like, this looks good, let me get it. This looks good, so I can get it. And it could be good and it could be bad, because as a person you might be pursuing something that looks good but it's not of substance to you. And like, literally speaking, it's like fast food, McDonald's, Wendy's, blah blah blah. Those that's food, but there's no real substance to that. Like, you it's just to eat. It just looks good. It's just fast food. It's not fulfilling, and you're not getting the nutrients that you need from it. Like, a person could survive eating McDonald's, but their health is not gonna be great. That's what I mean with like substance and the lack thereof. So getting into that, with the lack of substance with our generation, and yes, once again, I'm blaming social media. As a person, as people, we're supposed to have a source. You're supposed to have a source where you're getting substantial nutrients from. And for me personally, that's when my faith comes in. My faith in Jesus Christ comes in. And so, if as a person you don't have a source and you're not getting the substance that you need from a certain source, and you're just leaning on your own self, something has to feed you. Something has to feed you so you could be fulfilled. And this is why we're having this silly conversation about, oh, what can you bring to the table? What are you bringing to the table? And such and such and such. Really? Seriously? What is somebody bringing to the table? As a person, your table should already be laid. Your table should already be set. And when somebody comes into your life, they're just helping you up with the aesthetics of the table. Changing the theme of your table. You shouldn't be focused. You shouldn't be set on somebody bringing something to your table. No, it should already be there. Another thing with the lack of substance, most of us are not walking in our purpose because we're just chasing different things and we're not getting the substance from them. And you might feel a hole. You might not feel fulfilled by doing certain things. Another thing is talent versus purpose. A lot of talents are distraction to our actual purpose in life. So we are supposed to figure out And you wouldn't be able to figure out if you don't rely on the main source of your life as a person. And that main source should be God. So if you're just relying on yourself, I'm at the point, I cannot wait to have this conversation about manifesting, and all the details that have to do with that topic. But where are you getting your substance from? Are you even getting anything substantial in your life? Or do you just feel that you have a hole that needs to be filled and you're just going after certain things? And that also pours into different aspects of your life. It could be job-wise, relationship-wise, friendship-wise. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you getting yourself into? A lot of us are not walking in our purpose, and this is why the world is what it is. The world is not supposed to be a chaos and such a destruction. Yes, it's supposed to be some, but as humans, as the beautiful creatures that God created us to do, if you were to walk in our purpose, the world would be such a better place, because we're all stepping into, listen, some of us are supposed to be healers, but we're not stepping into that. We're probably distracted and doing something else. And somebody else's growth, somebody else's, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody else's survival, somebody else's is waiting on you. But because you're not stepping on your purpose, that person is left behind. Like, we're really meant to be helping each other. We're supposed to be there for one another. We're not supposed to be digging tweets from 10 and 11 years ago to prove points that are relevant, especially when somebody loses their life. So, as human beings, there's a lot of work that we have to do. And I really think that it starts with these conversations that we could have to figure out where are we heading, what can we do. And the thing is really like substance. If a part, so let's take a fruit for example. If a fruit gets rotten and that part is not, the rotten part is not cut off, it will spread throughout the whole fruit and the fruit will lose its substance. So in that sense, it's figuring out where you're lacking. Figuring out what is not working for you. What is killing you inside? What is destroying? What lifestyle are you into that's really taken away from you? You have to be filled to be able to fill somebody up. An empty glass can't fill up another. You have to be fulfilled. So that's your homework. Figure out what is your main source? What is your main source of life? What substance are you getting from that main source? Look at your friendships. Look at anything that you're attaching yourself to. Is it substantial to your life? Are you getting anything from it? Is something pouring into you? Are you pouring into others? Okay? Let's figure that out. And that is all, folks. And this was Sikaatalks, the podcast. Ciao!